Oh, I am not seeing Radha Pramod Prabhu. As he is still there? Radha Pramod Prabhu. Did Radha Pramod Prabhu say that there won't be session today or something like that? I'm not seeing him here. Uh, is he? Okay, let me ask him. Can someone did Radha Pramod Prabhu tell that today there won't be any Prabhupada purport class or something? Because I'm not seeing him here. I just wanted to make him the uh, host, but I'm not seeing him here. Maybe there is some internet problem or something. Please just hold on. I will just speak with him and get back to you. Yeah, just hold on for a second. He's running now in a couple of minutes, so you can please wait. He will join in a couple of minutes. So as soon as he joins, I will make him the host. Just give me a second.
Hare Krishna. Actually, just here we have some heavy rains, and just now big lightning fell, and all our networks got down. So just when Roji was taking the question answer session, it happened. So we will start our discussion. Yesterday, Mataji was asking why Draupadi did not forgive um, Duryodhana and Dusyasana. So I thought I'll just discuss on it and then we will go for it. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. So this is a very important section, and actually I had to take shlokas also, but because I wanted to complete some syllabus, so I'm trying to do this first, and then I will take shlokas on Tuesday maybe. So here we saw how Krishna cursed Ashwatthama. I'll just tell the storyline because from the 10th shloka onwards, Uttara prays again. So in between there is just description of some of the events that happened after this Ashwatthama was released. So before we go to that point, I just wanted to discuss some of the things. So yesterday we discussed one important question that everybody is acting according to their nature. So even Bhishma, Drona, Arjuna, Karna, Duryodhana, and Ashwatthama is also, who is the partial embodiment of Rudra, Yama, and Kavdev. He is also acting. So all of them, they are driven by their nature, and they could act only that way only. And they have played a very important part in the plan of Krishna, and who is the universal director. Now Krishna himself wanted that all warriors gather at Kurukshetra and to be killed. And Ashwatthama brilliantly carried out the plan of Krishna in that way. So what was his fault? And why does Krishna curse him and condemn him to misery rather than think that for his well performed service, he has done very nice service? And so this also answers yesterday's question, why Draupadi did not forgive. So both will be answered in this. So this is a very important. Now, why condemn Duryodhana and Ashwatthama and praise Arjuna and Bhima? Both have made mistakes, and both have stumbled, and both have felt anger and sorrow, and both acted according to their nature, fulfilling God's purpose. So why does this? And even we discussed how Duryodhana is telling to Kanvarishi that, oh sage, that created me like this, and this is the destiny ordained to me, and I shall do what is destined for me. So what is the point of talking about it for a long time? So now what Krishna is telling, Krishna is also telling there is no much freedom. Sadrasham cheshtate sasyat prakritir jnanamanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nirgaham kinkarishati. This is also another point where Krishna says that, okay, everybody is acting according to their nature. So here also Ashwatthama did, I am also doing. So we all do according to our nature. So this is the important point. Like Draupadi, when she was insulted, she also said, yes, I will take revenge. I should, until I smear the hair of, with the blood of Dusyasana, I am not going to tie my hair. Because whenever Bhima used to see the hair of Draupadi, his anger is to increase, and it went for years and years and years. No, 13 years Bhima was seeing the hair of Draupadi untied. Can you imagine how much that will keep him angry? Every day he has to see Draupadi like that. So in a cultured society, woman never keeps hair untied. It is not considered very proper. So, but Draupadi was like that, so that Bhima should see, no, he should remember it. So now it is according to their nature, they're acting. But there is an important point. Why it is correct for in one way and wrong in one way. So now people may become fatalist. Fatalist matlab, see, this is my destiny, I'll do like this only. And we have, and so, but that's right, but we have choice also. That is what Krishna is going to tell. This is a very important point. Otherwise, Krishna would not have, would be unjust in condemning Ashwatthama if it is not like that. And all the rules and prohibitions of scriptures would be useless. If I am doing according to my nature, then where is the question of rules and regulation of scriptures? I'll just do whatever my nature is. So what is important here is that man is given higher intelligence, which is called buddhi. And all the shastras were written so that he can discern in his heart the base desires and of the conditioned nature. So we have to give up the base desires of our conditioned nature with the help of scriptures. We should use our buddhi. So Krishna is talking in the next verse only, after 3.33, Indriyan Indriyateshu Ragadvesha Vyavastito Tayor na Vasham Agache Tvaihi Asya Paripantino. He says that attachment and aversion arising from the interaction of the senses with the objects of perception can be learned to be regulated. So we can regulate them by what? Observing certain rules. So this is what is important. Attachment aversion should not be allowed to be unchecked. We have to give it up. So this is the difference between devotees or who wanted to elevate themselves and who want to just remain like that or degraded. Now, here in the battle was going on, we can, the battle is going on in our heart. This is important point. The battle is in our heart and we can defeat the forces of Duryodhana if you take help of Krishna and his devotees. And that's why Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanurdhana. Now, Krishna and his devotees, what is the important factor is they always remember Krishna and they always feel they are servants of Krishna and Krishna is their master. This is, even though the difference between Duryodhana and Bhima and Ashwatthama Arjuna are Dhritarashtra and Bhishma and everything is, in all circumstances, some of them, they understand that we are servants of Krishna and we should worship Krishna. So even if they are fighting, like Bhishma is fighting opposite side, but he knows I am servant of Krishna. But there are people like Ghatotkacha who are fighting on the side of Pandavas, but they don't consider they are servants of Krishna. So they believe they are independent of Krishna and could do without him also. So Arjuna, Draupadi, Bhishma, they humbly accept whatever fate sent their way and always know that Krishna was behind everything. So this is the important factor. Now Draupadi, if Krishna comes and tells, okay, Draupadi, you should forgive Dusyasana and Duryodhana, will Draupadi forgive? Yes, she will forgive. He says, okay, Krishna, you want it, I'll forgive. But as such, I have this swabhava as a Kshatriya. For me, I had to take revenge. But if it is for you, I am going to live. So this is what is important. So we act according to swabhava. But when it comes to Krishna factor, we are ready to give up, surrender. Okay. Krishna wanted like that. And Krishna didn't want Draupadi forgive. Krishna also wanted them to be killed. It matched with Draupadi's desire. So if it does not match, devotees are flexible. They say, okay, Krishna, you want whatever, they are malleable. Whatever you want, Krishna, I am ready. If you don't want it, I don't want it. But for me, this desire is there. But if it is against yours, I am ready to give. That is the speciality. My nature will be there. Say, I like to eat sweet. But okay, there is fasting from, say, I like to eat some food item, but it is said, okay, today is fasting, you should not do it. Okay, because it is Krishna wanted like that, I will do it. So this is what a difference between devotees. So now Kunti, she begged Krishna to help them accept all difficulties and she asked for strength to overcome them. Whereas Duryodhana and Ashwatthama, what is the difference is they are blinded with pride. and hoped to defeat Krishna and his devotees. And then that's what has happened. Therefore, and each of us, we have choice. We need to make the choice between humility and pride, gratitude and anger, determination and stubbornness, love and envy, and not just once. This is very important. It's not just once, but every moment of our life. That is the most difficult things. And so this is all written with this. Now we'll come to our shlokas. Actually, I wanted to cover some syllabus today because again I'll take a break too. After 1.5 months, so I have to complete as much as possible before I go to one more yatra. So this is advantage. If you don't have any any family responsibilities, you can travel so much. So here Sutta Vacha Atate Sampretanam Swanam Udakam Ichatam Datum Krishna Gangayam Paura Puraskritya Yuyusriya. Sutta Goswami said, thereafter the Pandavas, desiring to deliver water to the dead relatives who had desired it, went to Ganges with Draupadi walking in front. Draupadi, the lady, sorry. The ladies walked in the front. So, to date, it is the custom in Hindu society to go to Ganges or any other sacred river to take bath when death occurs in the family. Each of the family members pours out a pot full of Ganges water for the departed soul and walk in a procession with the ladies in the front. The Pandavas also followed the rule more than 5,000 years. More than 5,000 years ago. Lord Krishna, being cousin of Pandavas, was also among the family members. So when we are offering water, we have to offer for Devatas, we offer from the front. And when we are offering to the ancestors, we have to offer from the right side. When we are serving Brahmanas, it should be our left. We have to serve like this. And when we are taking ourselves, it is like this. So this is a system. So when we are offering to demigods, or whenever we go to any sacred river, we have to go inside when after taking bath. Means after 3 drips, we have to take water, chant the mantras of Krishna, Guru Parampara, our Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, all the mantras we can chant, and for everyone we have to offer water. For our Gurudev, Param Guru, Prabhupada ji. Like that we have to offer for all Krishna, Radharani, Panchatattva, everybody. And when we are offering to ancestors, it should be from the like this left. For Brahmanas, that's why when you are serving Brahmanas, we have to serve right. When we are serving in a Shraddha Sharmani, it should be served from this is right in this. So this is the procedure we have to follow. Just some information in the process when you are doing, it will be helpful for you. Te nini yodakam sarve vilapya cha brisham punaha apluta haripadabja raja puta sarijjalai. Having lamented over them and sufficiently offered Ganges water, they bathed in Ganges, whose water is sanctified due to being mixed with the dust of lotus feet of the Lord. And then next shloka says, Tatra Siram Kurupatim Dhatarashtram Sahanujam Gandharim Putra Shokartam Pratam Krishnam cha Madhavaha. They sat, there sat the king of the Kurus, Maharaj Yudhishthir, along with his younger brothers, and Dhatarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, Draupadi, all overwhelmed with grief. Lord Krishna was also there. So Draupadi is called Krishna. 2 reasons. She is very close to Krishna. She may be in dark complexion. The battle of Kurukshetra was fought between the family members. Thus, all affected persons were also family members, like Maharaj Yudhishthir and brothers Kunti, Draupadi, Subhadra, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and her daughter-in-laws, etc. All the principal dead bodies were in some way or another related with each other, and therefore the family grief was combined. Lord Krishna was also one of them, as a cousins of the Pandavas and nephew of Kunti, as well as brothers of Subhadra, etc. The Lord therefore was equally sympathetic towards all of them, and therefore he began to pacify them befittingly. सांत्वयाम आसु मुनिभिर हत बंधून सुचार्पितान भूतेषु का लक्ष्य गतिम दर्शयन्न प्रतिक्रिया. Citing the stringent laws of the Almighty and their reactions upon living beings, Lord Sri Krishna and the Munis began to pacify those who were shocked and affected. I think, they should know they are not the body, spirit, soul. Why they are lamenting? Such a basic philosophy. Why they are doing? Actually, previously people were more evolved. So more a person is evolved, the relationship also very deep and very refined, deep, and very mature relationship. That's why they can experience that emotions. Now we hear from the Shastras when they are separated. Now Kunti, when she saw Pandavas were living, she fell on the ground unconscious and lamenting very bitterly. For a long time, she was just lying on the ground. I think very rarely such scene can be seen here. But previously, they were really having such emotions. That is actually a quality of their hearts. And that's why they could become such wonderful devotees also. So this is not impersonal. They are all personals. So Arjuna was also lamenting when Abhimanyu died, even though he heard Bhagavad Gita, because that is the heart of people who have some very good qualities. It's not that they should become hard-hearted. It's not actually correct. They should be more and more soft. The stringent laws of nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be altered by any living entity. The living entities are eternally under the subjugation of the Almighty Lord. The Lord makes all the laws and orders, and these laws and orders are generally called dharma or religion. No one can create any religious formula. Bona fide religion is to obey the orders of the Lord. The Lord's orders are clearly declared in Bhagavad Gita. Everyone should follow him only or his orders, and that will make all happy, both materially and spiritually. So this is very simple formula. So Lord created system in this world how to be happy also. He's not just keeping us suffer here. He says you follow the law, you'll be happy. What is the law? Law of sacrifice. Yajna. If you follow, your life is a yajna, you'll always remain happy. Even you want to have material prosperity, nice wife, children, husband, and nice wealth and everything, follow the principle of sacrifice. As long as we are in the material world, our duty is to follow the order of Lord. And if by the grace of Lord we are liberated from the clutches of material world, then in our liberated state also we can render transcendental loving service unto the Lord. In our material stage, we can see neither ourselves nor the Lord for want of spiritual vision. But when we are liberated from material affections and are situated in our original spiritual form, we can see both ourselves and Lord face to face. Mukti means to be reinstated in one's original spiritual status after giving up the material conception of life. Therefore, human life is specifically meant for qualifying ourselves for the spiritual liberty. Unfortunately, under the influence of illusory material energy, we accept this spot life of only a few years as our permanent existence, and thus become illusioned by possessing so-called country, home, land, children, wife, community, wealth, etc., which are false representations created by Maya. And under the direction of Maya, we fight with one another to protect these false positions. By cultivating spiritual knowledge, we can realize that we have nothing to do with all this material paraphernalia. Then at once we become free from material attachments. This clearance of the misgivings of material existence at once takes place by association with the Lord's devotees, who are able to inject the transcendental sound into the depths of the bewildered heart and thus make one practically liberated from all lamentations and delusion. This is the summary of the pacifying messages for those affected by the reactions of stringent material laws exhibited in the form of birth, death, old age, and disease. So Prabhupada is telling what is the instructions they received. Prabhupada is summarizing them, which are insoluble factors of material existence. The victims of war, namely the family members of Kurus, were lamenting the problems of death, and the Lord pacified them on the basis of knowledge. Now, in this world, how it is, people get attached and then they tolerate. This is actually what happens. They think that is love, but it's not actually love. Actually, initially there is love. When it is love, when there is selflessness, then there is love. And sorry, not selfless. When there are no expectations, na? And without expectation, initially, when boy and girl meets, maybe it is for 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months. There is no expectation. So that time it remains pure and gives certain type of pleasure. And then there is an attachment happens because of some things, and rest of the life you have to tolerate because there is no, that attachment only helps them to continue the relation because they tolerate each other. Same thing with the children. Child is very small. For few months, mother experience great love because no expectations. But when the child starts growing, actually what happens is in our heart there are sorry, in our mind, senses and intelligence, there is something, the enemy. What is the enemy? Lust. Krishna tells, what are the places of our enemies? He says in our senses, mind and intelligence, there is lust. So what happens is this lust in our intelligence, it starts manifesting. Initially, it's not there. In the relation, initial stages, it is no expectations, it's pure. It gives some, you feel it's actually I really love. But slowly, this lust in our intelligence, it actually starts manifesting, and that manifests as expectations. You start expecting from the other person, that's all. Then it's all, and you all know the sad story, what all happens. So the clever Duryodhana and his party cunningly observed the kingdom of Yudhishthir, who had no enemy. So this is the point. He never felt envious. So if you say I love somebody, that means you hate somebody. There is envy. Yudhishthir Maharaj had no enemy. So he is non-envious person. He equally treated everyone. By the grace of the Lord, the recovery was executed, and the unscrupulous kings who joined with Duryodhana were killed by him. Others also died. Their duration of life has been decreased for their rough handling of hair of Queen Draupadi. So this is the main reason Krishna tells why he want to kill all the Pandavas who are there, except for Pandava brothers who had connection with Draupadi. As Krishna tells to Draupadi, whoever is there in Asat Sabha, everybody will be killed. Vidura actually lives in between. He says, this is all, I cannot see anything. But Pandavas, they did not do anything. They said Dharma, Dharma, Dharma. Krishna says, what is Dharma? A woman is crying piteously and she's asking for help and she's insulted publicly, and you are talking about Dharma. Same, he becomes angry with Bhishma also for the same reason. With all of them, whoever is there, everybody is killed. So Prabhupada gives what all need to be protected. In the glorious days, as before the advent of age of Kali, the Brahmanas, the cows, women, the children, and old men were properly given protection. So the Shastra says, if you see tears in any of these people's eyes, the society is doomed. Society will be doomed. The protection of Brahmanas maintain the institution of Varna and Ashrama, the most scientific culture for attaining of spiritual life. The protection of cows maintains the most miraculous form of food, that is milk, for maintaining the finer tissues of the brain, for understanding the higher aims of life. So yeah, Manka Mataji, how can we keep ourselves away from expectations? Because whenever we have close relationship, we naturally expect. Yeah. then we have to face. So that's actually what is the problem. So the expectations is because of lust in our intelligence. If that is freed, then you don't expect anything from anyone, and then you are the most happiest person. As soon as we expect, then we have to face the problems. At least I told you this problem, so now you figure out the solution. So yeah, how to overcome lust. We practice more sincere sadhana and slowly go to the point. That's the solution. So this is actually like no morning. The question was there like how what we are talking about. Prabhupada is talking in the 70th chapter about cow protection. How is it connected to law of Krishna? This is actually important. The point is cow is the most non-invasive, and when you are serving cow means we are getting the qualities of cow also. So we also become selfless. Cow likes giving milk. It is actually giving its love. So when cow gives, it gives more milk than what calf can drink because it wants to give to others also. So when you are serving, you develop this quality of selflessness and non-envious. So that is what is makes us closer to Krishna. So in that way, it is connected. So my answer to the question. The protection of women maintains the chastity of society by which we can get a good generation for peace, tranquility, and progress in life. The women's role is so important. Now, women, they need to, if they are maintaining that standards, the products are very powerful. You'll get so many powerful, uh, great devotees, acharyas will be born by that power. So that's why women need to be read. Now they actually, of course, there are so many things like co-living or whatever, a living relationship and all. So these things we need to. I maybe today I don't have time. Maybe some other time I'll explain why it is, whether it is right or wrong. So on what basis we should decide. We actually in the college sessions we discuss these things, but want to tell you also so that you can, when you are preaching, it will help you to explain to people whether it is right or wrong, and on what basis we should accept this live-in relationship and all. Many are there. We are in cities, so that is very common nowadays. But we have to explain to people in a scientific way. We should not tell, no, scriptures are telling wrong. People say, all right, these people are fanatic. They'll not accept like that. We should give a proper reasoning on what basis people should decide. And when you give that explanation, even though they they understand it is wrong, they may not give it up. Their whatever they are doing, they will do it, but at least they know why it is wrong or why it is right. So we should always explain in a very logical and scientific way, because that's how we are educated. Our education system is like that, so that's why we have to explain also people in that way. Previously it was not very logical. Previously you said Shastra says means everybody says, yes, Shastra says, we'll follow. But nowadays, that is not like that. It's not Shastra. It is on logic and reason. We should explain on the basis. Shastra also gives logic and reason, and we based on that we can explain. Maybe some other session we get this topic. I'll try to address, because I want to cover at least Uttara's prayers. I want to cover, so that's why I'm trying. Now, the protection of children gives the human form of life its best chance to prepare the way of liberty from material bondage. Such protection of children begins from the very day of begetting a child by the purificatory process of Garbhadan Sanskar, the beginning of pure life. So, 4 years, 9 months, some days is the responsibility of the parents when he is very small. Till that time, they should be very properly protected. Then, definitely, even they may have very heavy sanskaras, they will be able to remain strong. The protection of old men gives them the chance to prepare themselves for the better life after death. This is a very important. Old people are protected, and whole society, we can say the standard of society is like that. This complete outlook is based on factors leading to successful humanity as against the civilization of polished cats and dogs. The killing of above mentioned innocent creations is totally forbidden, because even by insulting them one loses one's duration of life. Just to insulting only. So children are protected, children are killed in the womb, cows are sent to slaughterhouses, no respect for brahmanas, and women are exploited in the name of liberty. They actually they say women liberation, but it is not liberation. It's more of a exploitation. But they don't understand. They feel it's liberation. It's not actually like that. In the age of Kali, they have not properly protected, therefore the duration of life of the present generation has shortened considerably. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that when the woman becomes unchaste for want of proper protection, there are unwanted children called Varnashankaras. To insult a chaste woman means to bring about disaster in the duration of life. Dusyasana, a brother of Duryodhana, insulted Draupadi, an ideal chaste wife, and therefore the miscreant died untimely. These are some of the stringent laws of Lord mentioned above. So people say, Bhagavad Gita, why Krishna is encouraging violence? If a woman is insulted publicly, that to a chaste woman, and in front of all these, in front of all these big respected, so-called respected people, what is the example set to the society? The society, they think, a king is insulting a woman publicly, I can also do it. So it is going a wrong message in the society, and Krishna wanted to finish it off. He says, if you being in a responsible position, you are insulting a woman publicly, and what is the position of women in the society then? So Krishna says, no way. Everybody should be killed. So people say, why Krishna, Arjuna didn't want to fight, Krishna is encouraging violence. He's encouraging violence because he wanted to set an example. This is the punishment he should give if somebody is insulting women. That's all, very clear. So it is not about violence, it is actually justice. Lord Sri Krishna caused 3 well-performed Ashwamedha Yajnas or sacrifice to be conducted by Maharaj Yudhishthira, and thus caused his virtuous fame to be glorified in all directions, like that of Indra, who had performed 100 such sacrifices. So it took very less time for Yudhishthira to perform this sacrifice because nobody was there to oppose him. So he could immediately do one after another 3 sacrifices within few months, because Parikshit was in the womb only before the sacrifices were performed. And after the war is over, 3 sacrifices were performed, and still that time also Parikshit Maharaj in the womb only. So this is something like the preface of the performance of Ashwamedha Yajna by Maharaj Yudhishthir. The comparison of Maharaj Yudhishthir to the king of heaven is significant. The king of heaven is thousands and thousands times greater than Maharaj Yudhishthir in opulence, yet the fame of Maharaj Yudhishthir was not less. The reason is that Maharaj Yudhishthir was a pure devotee of Lord, and by his grace only was King Yudhishthir on the level of the King of Heaven, even though he performed only 3 yajnas, whereas King of Heaven performed hundreds. That is the prerogative of the devotee of the Lord. The Lord is equal to everyone, but a devotee of Lord is more glorified because he is always in touch with the all great. The sun rays are equally distributed, but still there are some places which are always dark. This is not due to the sun, but to the respective power. Similarly, those who are sent person devotees of the Lord yet get the full-fledged mercy of the Lord, which is always equally distributed everywhere. So Lord Sri Krishna then prepared for his departure. He invited the sons of Pandu after having been worshipped by the Brahmanas, headed by Srila Vyasdev. Thus, the Lord was reciprocated greetings. Lord also reciprocated greetings. Pujita Paripujita. So apparently Lord Sri Krishna was a Kshatriya and was not worshipable by the Brahmanas. But the Brahmanas present there, headed by Srila Vyasdev, all knew him to be the personality of God, and therefore they worshipped him. The Lord reciprocated the greeting just to honor the social order that a Kshatriya is obedient to the orders of the Brahmanas. Although Lord Sri Krishna was always offered the respect due the Supreme Lord from all respectable quarters, the Lord never deviated from the customary usages between the 4 orders of society. The Lord purposely observed all the social customs so that others would follow him in the future. So just to set example, Lord is doing. Actually, many things are there, but we will we will not be able to discuss all the points. As soon as he seated himself on chariot to start for Dwarka, he saw Uttara hurrying towards him in fear. All the members of the family of Pandavas were completely dependent on the protection of the Lord. And therefore, Lord protected all of them in all circumstances. Lord protects everyone, but one who depends completely upon him is especially looked after by the Lord. The father is more attentive to the little son who is exclusively dependent on the father. So now again we'll come to the story part. So when Ashwatthama was shamefully expelled from the Pandavas camp, he retired to the jungle to begin his long exile. But the lust for vengeance continued him, and Arjuna cut his jewel and deprived him his mystic powers, and he did. But what Arjuna could not do is he could not get rid Ashwatthama of his stubbornness. That is not possible. Because Ashwatthama still remains stubborn. And even after Krishna's curse also, he did not become sober. He continued like that. He was losing everything. But what he did not lose, he did not lose the ego. He was always with him. So he was stung in the core. And Ashwatthama decided to take one last revenge on the Pandavas. So because he had nothing to lose, it is said that a wounded snake is more dangerous because it loses caution. So same thing happened, and he wanted to destroy not only Pandavas but also the successor of Pandavas, Maharaj Parikshit, in the womb of Uttara. This is actually what happened. So it is said, Vallabhacharya says that Ashwatthama, he chief Brahmastra he released on the womb of Uttara onto Parikshit, and remaining other Brahmastras he aimed at all other Pandavas. You just have to chant the mantra and you have to think of the person whom you want to kill. Brahmastra will go to it. Wherever he is there in any part of the universe, he will be killed. So now Uttara was the first to feel the heat of Ashwatthama's flaming arrow. And then Pandavas themselves, they have not yet realized that this Brahmastra is coming. And whole. Now here Uttara is going to chant. This is a very nice prayer. So same Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate. Arjuna also says the same. Uttara Vacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Tat Abhayam Pashet Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Uttara said, O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality. So this is a very nice conversation which is happening between Uttara and Krishna. So it is said that she tells, save me, save me. And Krishna will say, how can I save you? The deadly arrow has already been fired. It must hit the target. Then Uttara says, no, you can say because you are Mahayogi. So Mahayogi. Then Lord says, Are Yogi, Lord Shiva is also Yogi, Brahma is also Yogi, and it is Brahma's arrow. It is flying to you. So why don't you go to Brahma and Shiva? So then Uttara says, no, you are Deva Deva. He's telling you are Deva Deva, Jagat. So you are Deva Deva. You are all the demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, also worship you. And they turn to you for protection. So that's why I am here. Then Krishna says, okay, if you have doubt on demigods, then why don't you go to Yudhishthir for protection? He is the king and he is supposed to protect his subjects. Uttara says, he commands some miserable kingdom on earth. You command the whole universe. You are Jagatpati. So that's why I am coming to you. And he says, okay, but why don't you go to Arjuna, your father-in-law? Most recently, he protected the whole universe from Brahmastra. He is a great warrior. He is a great yogi also, Arjuna. And even demigods turned to him for protection. He defeated Lord Shiva also. So why don't you go to him? Uttara says, how can I be protected by one who is not free from fear himself? Everyone in this world is afraid of death. And motivated by the fear and envy, they do nothing but to kill each other. Yatra mrityu parasparam. See, Arjuna could not even protect his son, my husband, Abhimanyu, from death. So I could see no one but you. Who can protect me? So here Prabhupada is writing in the purport. This material world is a world of duality, in contrast with the oneness of absolute realm. The world of duality is composed of matter and spirit, whereas the absolute world is complete spirit without any tinge of material qualities. In the dual world, everyone is falsely trying to become the masters of the world, whereas in the absolute world, the Lord is absolute Lord and all others are his subordinate servitors. In the world of duality, everyone is envious of all others, and death is inevitable due to the dual existence of matter and spirit. The Lord is the only shelter of fearlessness for the subordinate soul. One cannot save himself from the cruel hands of death in the material world without having surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Lord. So here one more important. So this is what Prabhupada is telling. So no one. So now what Uttara is telling next is, "O my Lord, you are all powerful. A fiery iron arrow is coming towards my face. My Lord, let it burn me personally, if you so desire. But please do not let it burn and abort my embryo. Please do me this favor, my Lord." So she is not praying for herself. That's why Krishna reciprocates. She's so selfless. She says, "Okay, let me die, but the child should be protected." So Prabhupada, this incident took place after the death of Abhimanyu, the husband of Uttara. Abhimanyu's widow Uttara should have followed the path of her husband, but because she was pregnant and Maharaj Parikshit, a great devotee of Lord, was lying in the embryo, she was responsible for his protection. The mother of a child had a great responsibility in giving all protection to the child, and therefore Uttara was not ashamed to express this frankly before Lord Krishna. Uttara was a daughter of great king, the wife of a great hero, the student of great devotee, and later she was the mother of a good king also. She was fortunate in every respect. Of all the people, actually here Uttara's devotion is shown. How great is Uttara? So this section, just within 2 shlokas, the greatness of Uttara is explained. She is a daughter of great king, uh, the king of Viratha, and then wife of great hero Abhimanyu, student of Arjuna, and mother of Parikshit. In all ways, she is very fortunate. Not only fortunate, most surrendered devotee of Krishna also, Uttara, of all the people. So this is that's why she got a child like Parikshit, because she is such a surrendered person. So not much is mentioned, but Bhagavatam tells the greatness. If you read Mahabharata, we'll never know what is Uttara. No, okay, she is also a good lady. But Bhagavatam tells how she is the most surrendered of all the uh, people here. And she turns to Krishna and says, "You are almighty and you can do all things. My life is not as precious to me as the life of my child, the grandson and great devotee. Save him." And Krishna says, "But how can I save the child who is in your womb? The radiation of Brahmastra has already burned the tender body of this to the ground. You yourself feel that the child is almost dead." Then Uttara says, "But you are Vibhu, omnipotent, and you are in my womb also. You can bring back the life of this child." Then Lord says, "But the laws of world are inexorable. Death is irreversible." Uttara says, "Okay, for all, but not for you. You are Natha, the master of death itself." So now at this request, so so a request for personal salvation, but it's not per person. Even when addressed only to Krishna, may seems like a like you are deviating from pure devotional service. Anyabhilashunam. But Uttara says, "I do not ask to save me. Let me die. But the child in my womb, the last descendant of Pandus, must remain alive. Otherwise, people will say, Array, you could not protect the lineage of your friends. So you will get bad news. So better you protect." So now when Krishna hears this, then he will protect. So we will. Any questions? Anybody want to ask? Okay. Thank you very much. I just wanted to complete this much today. Tomorrow we will discuss 3 types of prayers and then we'll start. Actually, Kunti prayer starts from 18. But I didn't want to a very important part of the prayers. So, okay. Tuesday we'll do shlokas because I just wanted to complete at least this chapter. This is actually very big chapter. So, Hare Krishna.